Back in the day, this is how we played BIONIC Commando. Check out those pants. I want pants like that.
And this is how we play BIONIC Commando today. BIONIC Commando Rearmed. And man, Capcom is just on fire this year. They bring us 1942 Joint Strike, which was excellent, and now this tour de force, an incredible remake. In fact, probably the best remake of any old school video game that I've ever played. I was incredibly excited when I heard that Capcom was releasing an update of the old school BIONIC Commando in a two-dimensional side-scroller form.
Hey!
And I had high hopes for this game, and this has surpassed every one of them. If the music alone doesn't make you want to jump up and down with joy and hug your old Nintendo BIONIC Commando cartridge, then this awesome map and old school 1980s style graphics certainly will. I have to give a round of applause to everybody who worked on this game. Just look at it. They've captured everything that made the original so good. In fact, they've improved upon it. And that's not an easy thing to do. The original BIONIC Commando was released as an arcade game in 1987, and then for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1988. I grew up playing the Nintendo version, and it was one of my favorite games. I remember I was probably about 12 years old. I won the game, and I took a picture of the ending screen. I forget what it was exactly, but I think it was a signature or something that said Joe or, whatever the ending was. And I sent the picture to Nintendo Power magazine. I believe they ran something where they'd show people's photographs of the ending of video games, and put their name with it. And they never showed mine. And I still hold a grudge against Nintendo Power to this day. I like BIONIC Commando so much that back when I was doing the original classic Game Room series with Dave, we reviewed BIONIC Commando on the NES back in the year 2000. And Dave is like the master of this game, so he basically just played through it in one sitting and won the whole game. And you can actually see that review if you search for it, Classic Game Room Reviews, BIONIC Commando. It's one of our most popular episodes. And rightfully so, it's one of the best games we've ever reviewed. More than 8 years later, Capcom releases BIONIC Commando Rearmed for Xbox Live Arcade. I believe it's also on PS3. You get what is, in my opinion, a frontrunner for the 2008 Game of the Year. And by that I mean the 2008 Classic Game Room Game of the Year, where the winner gets an imaginary gold beer can. It's a highly coveted award, respected in the industry. In the short amount of time that I've played this to date, I can't find a single flaw. Everything is here that you remember and love. The screens that you get information from, you can hack the enemy screens. I'm not a huge fan of the puzzle solving that you have to do for the hacking of the enemy screens. It reminds me a bit of the hacking in BioShock, but, well, not as good. I mean, nothing's going to beat the hacking in BioShock, because that was awesome. As you see on screen, they've kept the two-dimensional styling of the game and then updated the graphics and the sound. The music and the sound effects are some of the best that I've ever heard in any video game. I like that they kept a lot of the original music and then updated it. The gameplay and the controls are terrific. This game is easy to pick up and play. And note how well the animations are done on the characters, on both the bad guys and then on the BIONIC Commando himself. If you remember the original game, the controls are very similar. You shoot your arm out, you can shoot it up, diagonally, straight ahead, grab on the thing, swing. You can't jump. That's the whole thing with BIONIC Commando, of course. They can give the guy a superhuman arm, but he can't jump a foot off the ground. So that must be one heavy arm, that's all I can figure. And I love the cutscenes that hark back to the old school original BIONIC Commando. The enemy that goes P, P, P. I never got that in the first one and I still don't get it, although they made a joke about it in this one and it's funny. You can pick up barrels and throw them at people. Usually not a huge fan of end bosses in these old school video games. I always like the side-scrolling action parts the best. BIONIC Commando Rearmed brings a wealth of end bosses that are clever, creative, and thoroughly enjoyable. Each of them took me about 2 or 3 tries to figure out how to beat them, but I was always impressed each time at how much fun it was to play against them. The game has a training mode or challenge rooms feature. On Xbox Live you can get achievement points. I still can't get over the fact that this game costs about a quarter or 1/5 as much as one of the major releases. And I would so much rather play BIONIC Commando. The two-dimensional overhead Ikari Warriors Commando style fighting is here as well. When you travel along the map, your helicopter, piloted by the resident hottie in the game, Haley, runs into enemies. And you have to land on the ground and defeat them in this tremendous two-dimensional overhead shooting mode. This brings up the question, when are we getting a remake of Commando? No, not the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. That was good the first time around. I'm talking about the video game. And speaking of 1980s action movies, I love how the art design in this game made Super Joe look like a 1980s action star. Complete with his sunglasses and spiky hair. The writing in the game is great. A dwarf straddling a huge metal thing. Brilliant. And this is a great example of a clever, challenging yet not too frustrating end boss. Just like in the NES version, you can't get to certain levels without getting certain weapons, like the bazooka. And if you remember the original, look at how well they've remade this level. And I love the searchlights that look like those things they used to have in hair salons. And as Super Joe falls 30 stories down, that reminds me of every time I played the original. I think I would fall in the same way. The helicopter sentries are back, and you can knock them down with your bionic arm and then blow them up, just like the good old days. Let's look at some of the details in the background. When you shoot people, they don't blink and go away, they fall off the screen. Brilliant. I like that they put shadows in the background. Capcom makes another two-dimensional game with three-dimensional background elements that bring it alive, but still retaining what makes a two-dimensional game good. That unique gameplay that you lose when you go to a completely 3D game. Note when the bionic arm unscrews the bolt from this end boss, it's actually spinning. Now I have a bazooka. I'm blowing things up with it. Using the shotgun and grenades on people in close range is just exhilarating in this game. Now, I've only just begun to get into BIONIC Commando, so this is a part one of a two-part review. Now that we've covered the basics, it's time to plow through this game and see what other magic Capcom has worked with BIONIC Commando Rearmed. Now that we've seen what can be done with an excellent two-dimensional side-scroller, would somebody please tell Sega to remake Revenge of Shinobi and make it look like this?